monumental awaits the above. The monumental will explain the Nexus to thee.
Did I mention how awesome and enormous this place looks?
Possibly.
No, it did. It looks incredible. It still looks very beautiful too. Nice upworld. I like it. So anyway,
I'm still just stunned at the fact this character's name is Norman.
well, no one outside of you knows that, but yeah. When I was, again, back to my first episode, I was gonna have this character thought up of, I just thought of something totally miss out of place, just so basic. You know, like, great brave warrior, what do you be called? It's like,
Norman.
lightning behind him. They call me Norman.
Huh.
Actually, that's kind of a shout out to one of the older shows I used to watch as a kid.
Really?
You ever heard of Mighty Max?
Yes.
That is such an old show. I loved Norman. He was awesome.
See, I don't remember Mighty Max, but I remember I have a toy. Well, I had
Yeah,
a toy.
something like that. I don't think he does it yet, but I'm talking about the Blue Phantom over there.
If you
press
talk to
one.
him enough, if you talk to him, I think
I-
you have to beat an archdemon before he does it.
No, you don't, actually. You just have to talk to the Monumental. That being said, let's go ahead and start making our way up here. Now, I
right.
didn't have too much of a problem finding the guy, but like I said, just look how massive this place is.
Well, I have a much different story.
Yeah, you like watching roaming around for days, yeah?
Just
I was just throwing a time number out there. Did it really take you days?
it did not take me days, but it took me a good like 10
Yeah, a
minutes.
lot longer than it should have taken you, right?
Oh, like there's this like little dark corridor. You have to go like through this wall, and it's like a couple of close turns, and I missed one of them and just started wandering around on the floor. I'm like, where is this?
Well, I know this place doesn't exactly have, you know.
And then it didn't help that I would like run into an item and try and get it and die.
Yeah, we're gonna get the items on the way down.
Yeah.
So wait a minute, you said there were records of online play up here? Where
Yeah. If you go to the very top,
The very top? The very top's just a doorway you can't get out.
there is. It's at the very top. And I can't lead you there because I barely remember where everything is. But you have to go to the very, very top. And there's records. It's like a room. I remember because me and my friend found it and just we're just like, what? I think it might be behind this.
Behind this? I've never opened this.
Or something. I know that there used to be one. I know it. But I just don't remember how I got there.
Because I have been up here online, it's still closed. I don't know. Well, anyway, let's go find the Monumental. It was apparently explained this whole thing to us. You know, I wonder if that is actually the Maiden in Black. Who knows? Something to think about. I actually have been wanting to actually look into Demon Souls lore.
Oh, I know a bit about her, but first this.
Right. Yeah, so your big giveaway is supposed to be this lone candle, dimly lit.
And he's actually sitting up and not kind of slumped.
Yeah.
We have long awaited you, Slayer of Demons. I am one of the Monumentals. We preserve the fabric of reality. There is something thou needest to know. Once, we too, a scourge of demons faced. In the distant past, under a benevolent rule, the world was united owing to the soul arts. Until a lust for power caused the awakening of the Old One. Across the land seeped a colorless, deep fog, and the world faced extinction at the hands of the demons. Thanks be, we were able to lull the Old One back to his slumber, yet only after the loss of innumerable souls, and half the world lost, erased by the fog. In order to mend the fabric of what land still remained, we entrusted 6 elders with 6 precious archstones. 1 to the king of a small yet diligent land. 1 to the king of the burrowers underground. 1 to the wise queen of the great ivory tower. 1 to the chieftain of lost and ill-fortuned souls. 1 to the shaman of the tempest-worshipping shadowmen. And the last to the great giants of the northern lands. The archstones were placed at nodes across the earth. We contained the old one inside this Nexus and banned the soul arts. Finally, we became monumentals, half-living sentinels of the fabric of reality. Alas, the other monumentals have perished, and only I remain.
By the power of the Monumentals, the 4 sealed Archstones have been released.
Now it is your turn. You must lull the old one back to its slumber, and seal it away for all eternity. If not, the deep fog will absorb all that we know. Have you the strength to accept this mission?
Now, this choice here actually does have an impact on what you can actually get later on. If you say yes, you can come and get the Friends Ring, which will actually increase your power when you're summoned by another player to help you.
Correct.
To help them.
Yes.
But that requires
We are fortunate indeed to have you.
pure white character
Now.
tendency?
Yeah.
Go forth and destroy every last demon. The old one,
You got it.
without
Oops.
demons to feed its souls, will a new servant seek and lure you to its bosom.
Okay, sorry about that. He spoke a lot longer than I remember. But yes, as Eric was talking about, and as what the Monumental was alluding to, come over here. You have some collectibles. Actually, they're around the Nexus. They're very
There's
odd.
some you drop to.
Yeah, there's some you have to drop to.
I died getting those.
Here's what we were talking about before. These are the 5 active Archstones that we can access to in such the 5 worlds that exist in this game. As a result, no, sorry, not as a result, but you'll see in the center that statue of a regular generic statue. That is your character tendency. Now there are 2 kinds of tendencies in this game. There is world tendency and character tendency. Character tendency affects how the dynamics of your online play, whether you're an invader as a red phantom or a summon as a blue phantom.
I believe it also affects how much health you have. It's not a very large amount, but I believe if you have a dark character tendency, you have a slight amount less health. Like you have 46.5% health in soul form as opposed to 50%. If you're pure black, I believe.
Oh, but it increases your attack power, right?
I don't remember. I think it's just R2. But I mean, you might be right about that. I don't exactly remember this.
That might be a little bit more the opposite. Now, as for the world tendency, I know it's kind of hard to tell, but Balatarian Palace is a slightly lighter than the other Archstones. The reason for that is that the world tendency is a slightly more edged towards white world tendency. White world tendency versus black world tendency is basically summed up like this. Each tendency to its extreme has a series of different events that can occur within the world. Every world has its own independent tendency, so you can have 3 Archstones with white world tendency and 2 of them with black world tendency. It's totally up to you. Depending on whatever items you want to get or what NPCs you want to encounter, etc., etc. Now, as far as the in-depth, for this playthrough, I should probably specify, we're actually going to be leaning towards more of a pure white tendency for some of the worlds because of what I've mapped out for the gameplay. However, what I'm going to try and do is do possibly a New Game Plus playthrough of all black tendency, because with white tendency in the world, especially towards I don't think it affects it slightly, but amount towards white character or white world tendency, is that the enemies drop less souls, have a lower drop chance of whatever they could drop,
And they're weaker.
but they're weaker. They do less damage, have less health. Whereas the opposite is true for black world tendency.
And in Black World Tendency, when you get deep enough into Black World Tendency, I'm not sure if it's pure black or just before it, new enemies will appear. Black phantom versions of the enemies which are red and much more powerful. Although I do believe they are guaranteed to drop something. I might be wrong about that. But they also have more soul drops.
The drop chance is much higher.
Yeah.
than you expect it to be. Okay, so now as for the how the worlds are laid out, I'm going to actually refer to you to that rather crude but well enough diagram that I made up for it. You're going to see it right now. Okay, I know it kind of looks like a Dragon Ball, but please bear with me. Wait, you noticed that just now?
Just now.
Okay, well anyway, it's not a Dragon Ball, it's a very, very crude layout map of the Nexus and how the worlds extend. So, World 1 is effectively Boletarian Palace, World 2 is the Stone Fang Tunnel, World 3, the Tower of Latria, World 4 is Crushed, if you refer back to the last scene.
It would be the Land of Giants, which sounds so cool.
It would be the Land of Giants, which looks so awesome. I mean, you can see from the pictures just how incredible it looks. Unfortunately, we don't get there. I think you guys were hoping for a DLC. Maybe
we were.
That.
I wanted the Land of Giants.
Yeah, that would have been awesome, but unfortunately it's not available. The Shrine of Storms makes up World 4 in its actuality. Technically, it's the 5th R-Stone in the line.
Which is why in the picture, the World 4 Land of Giants has a little asterisk next to it. It should be World 4, but it's not.
Unfortunately, no, we didn't get that. And then World 5 is the Valley of Defilement, one of the most hated worlds in Demon Souls. Now, every world, as you can see here, is divided up accordingly. And so you can see from the legend, from the Nexus Arc Stone, we have effectively World 1, Section 1, divided off by the area boss, which in Boletarian Palace, World 1 was the Phalanx.
Yep.
Then we'll be heading for the next part, World 1-2, and we'll defeat that area boss. Now, there's an asterisk next to World 1-3 because there's something very particular, and we'll get to that at the end of the video. But we can't go any further from area World 1-2 until we meet a certain condition.
The rest of the worlds are set out in the same way.
The rest of the worlds are set up in this very same way. And so that's just how it's pretty much divided up. Now you'll notice there's another line going off from the area boss of 1-3. That's because that's effectively where the true, in all essence of the story, the true final boss resides.
You don't necessarily have to defeat him last, but that is generally what people do.
Like I said last episode, you don't have to face him last. Actually, I've seen some messages saying that they suggest you be at least soul level 40 before you take him on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it's a couple of... That's 36 more soul levels from us.
Which is funny because I always thought that you did have to beat him last. I thought you couldn't get to him until you'd beaten every other world. But apparently you just have to beat one of the world bosses.
Yeah, you just have to beat one of the world bosses before you can proceed to area 1-3 and then to the final world boss of the Boletarian Palace, which of course will be King Alot, as you might surmise. Okay, so there's that diagram. I hope that helped a little bit for some of you understanding of how this area is mapped out. Now we come over here, we get the Stone of Ephemeral Eyes. These is effectively the humanity of this game. It's what causes us to regain our body outside of having to defeat a demon, pretty much.
I wouldn't call it humanity because humanity has more varied use than this. This is exclusively to revive yourself.
Yeah, that's the closest equivalent I can surmise. Now actually, there is a big gap in one of my rig slots. That's because silly me forgot that when we rescued Ostrava, I totally forgot to get the very important ring that's behind him up where he's sitting. So when we go back to Palace or the Boletarian Palace, we're going to quickly double back, go get that ring, and then take on rest of 1-2. But in the meantime, typically this is how I play the game. Once I'm done with the area, I go ahead and get all of my souls together to see where I stand. Then I prepare for the next world. That means level up, item upgrade, etc., etc.
Which I believe you have not mentioned until now, but once you have defeated the Phalanx, the Black Maiden is now available to level you up.
And that's exactly where we get to level up, yes.
Because until you beat the Phalanx, she will not allow you to level up.
Yeah, you can. You're not forced to stay in World 1-1, but you can't really progress anywhere until you finally defeat the first boss, which is Phalanx.
This is actually a bit different what I do. I just hold on to my itemized souls until I'm close to a level, and then I use them. But
Okay.
whatever works.
Yeah, to each their own. There's no wrong way to play this game. There's just different ways.
Oh yeah. I mean, the people that beat the soul level 1, so technically everything past that is, I don't know, gravy. But
I guess.
I'm not that good, so I'm so confused because I vividly remember seeing this online ranking thing, and the top slots were all held by people dual wielding dragon bone smashers with heavy armor and full souls.
Yeah, something crazy like that.
Yeah, it was really funny. It's like, wow, I'm never gonna be one of these people.
Well, here's something very different that a lot of people don't do that I do. Because actually, you know what, we probably didn't discuss into detail how world tendency shifts to black or white.
Because it's confusing.
It is rather confusing. Basically, it's this. World tendency will shift towards black if you die in that world in human form,
Or if you kill an NPC in
or
that
if you
world.
kill a friendly NPC in that world.
Not necessarily friendly.
Okay, I guess not. That sucks.
Well, there's at least one NPC that I can count on the top of my head that I won't say right now, but
Oh yeah.
they will just attack you. And if you kill them, it hurts your world tendency.
Yeah, I take that back. You're all right.
Although that might be that specific NPC. I don't really know.
If you die to an enemy invading player, does that lower your tendency to black also?
No.
Okay.
It only matters if you die in human form, or if you kill an NPC. Those will both affect your world tendency.
Right.
Oh, also what should be noted is world tendency is not affected until you leave the world somehow.
Yeah, until you leave the world somehow, come back to the Nexus, etc.
Oh, not necessarily the Nexus, but if you die, I believe it'll apply the world tendency then. So if you die in human form, it'll obviously immediately apply it.
Yeah.
But if you like kill NPCs or something like that, I do not believe it applies it until you leave the world or die.
Yeah, and then white character tendency has anything to do with vanquishing a boss,
Killing black phantoms.
killing black phantoms if you're summoned as a blue phantom in someone else's world.
Well, if you kill in-game black phantoms also work, but those don't appear until you're actually in dark world tendencies, so you know, you have to be pretty low to even see those, usually.
Yeah, like we said, it's pretty convoluted, but that's generally the gist of it. The point is that we're going to be doing stuff that aims towards white character tendency, and then when it becomes relevant, I'll just note how things have shifted back on the scale. So, now facing the Nexus this way like my character is, as you saw when me exploring a little more of the grounds of the Nexus, on the left-hand side, you're going to have the miracle people, or the disciples of God. And they will give us miracles much like our healing miracle we have ourselves. Miracles are scaled and used by our faith stats, whereas correspondingly on the right side, we have the magic users.
And magic is correspondent to magic and intelligence.
Yes. Both faith and magic use the intelligence stat because that's your MP bar.
Yeah.
How much magic you have, so we are going to put some stats into that. Pretty much just trying to tell you how I'm going to develop this character in. So I've actually mapped this out to where you uses a dash of everything you kind of need. So he is going to use a little bit of magic and mainly use one powerful faith or miracle spell. But in order to get this spell, we have to talk to this guy.
What do you want, brute? I have no use for miscreants like yourself. Away with you.
This guy's the magic guy, and he won't talk to you until you have a certain level of magic.
Exactly. Our Temple Knight has 6 magic, so yeah.
I think you need 10.
You need 10.
To be fair, if you have 100 MP and enough faith to use it, you're fine.
Yeah, pretty much. But in order to level up, we need to talk to the main in black.
Brave soul, who fears not death. Prithee, lull the old one back to its ancient slumber.
Thank you.
Then we get the blue eye stone and the white eye stone. The blue eye stone, I think it's... Oh, sorry, the white eye stone lets you leave a... Which one? No, it's the blue eye stone. The blue eye stone lets you leave a summoning sign.
Well, you can actually look at the item description.
Eye stones temporarily connect the different worlds. As you lose your physical form, remember the eye stones. The maiden controls inhuman souls. This power allows her to aid those who slay demons.
What is it? Dost thou seek soul power?
Oh, of course.
So be it. After all, thou requirest strength. Go forth, touch the demon inside me. Let
And
these
that line.
ownerless souls become thine own.
So this is how we become stronger.
Soul of the mind.
I've been calling her the Black Maiden,
towards
haven't I?
ether.
It doesn't
Soul
really
of the
matter all
lost,
that much.
drawn from its vessel. Let strength be
Well,
granted
the Maiden in Black is unique in that she is the only immortal NPC until a certain point.
Yeah.
She will never aggro, no matter how much you hit her, and if you kill her, she'll respawn.
Yeah, well, in case most people probably don't know if you have played this game, the Maiden in Black is actually a demon herself.
And she is one of the most powerful demons in the Nexus.
Pretty
She's
much.
actually the reason everything's held together.
She is the only thing that everything is left together.
I'm not sure where she stands in comparison to the old one, but she's very, very powerful.
Well, she's the one who's capable of actually putting
Lulling
it
it
back
to
to
sleep.
sleep.
Yeah, but I'm saying I'm not sure that means she's just skilled enough or powerful enough. I'm not sure.
Okay, so either way, up above our stats we have how many souls are required, and then up to the left is how many souls we have. So we can actually level up a couple of times here. So what I'm really going to do is I'm going to put most of my stats into the magic so we have it. And then we'll put some into intelligence. Actually, no, it's intelligence. He won't talk to you. It's not magic.
Oh, no, you're right.
Yeah,
you
if you
need
have-
you need at least 10 intelligence to have the one spell memory.
Yes.
Otherwise, you can't. You need spell memory to memorize spells, which that's obvious. But below that, you actually can't equip any spells, so there's no purpose in him talking to you.
Right. Okay, so vitality is our health, endurance is our green meter, our stamina meter, strength. We're never going to raise dexterity, we're never going to raise luck, and we are going to raise faith, but only to the point which we need it for. Just like with magic in itself.
I do think that luck has a really interesting level up.
It does. It has plague resistance. Plague is effectively the difference corresponding to poison and toxic. Toxic being more of a...
It's super poison.
It's super poison, pretty much. Or in this case, it's called plague.
Poison is annoying. Plague or toxic is deadly.
It will... physical defense will be raised to a certain degree if you're still low soul level, and it increases your drop rate, but other than that, that's all it does.
Pretty much, luck is the stat you level up last.
There is a unique weapon that scales to your luck stat, but I don't ever use it.
There is?
There is, yes.
What is it?
Um...
Is it the secret sword?
No, it's that silver blade or something that you get from the the world boss from the Valley of Defilement.
Wow, I did not know that.
Well, I looked at the wiki.
I use her soul for something else.
Okay, so let's see here. Let's go some endurance.
To be fair, physical defense you just level up all the time.
Strength. We're gonna need a lot of strength. I'm gonna talk to her. I haven't talked to her.
As for me, I am only here to tend to the flames. I keep the candles lit and serve the brave demon slayers who are trapped here.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Art thou done? May thine strength help the world be mended.
You would never believe it, but she is super powerful.
Yeah, I know.
Also, if you kill Boldwin, he has God's hands.
Yeah, I know.
Have you met the last surviving monument?
Oh, look at me glitching there.
Those fools revived the old one on a whim. And now they've trapped us here in the Nexus in a desperate attempt to undo their mistake. It's all a travesty if you ask me.
Now, I forget what caused this guy. Is it progress in Boletaria?
I am impressed. This is something that might interest you. The black-robed maiden of the Nexus looks after the flames. She's a morose type, with eyes occluded by wax. She can control souls like no other. Bring her the souls of men and demons, and she will embolden your flesh and blood with their power. But beware. Do not devolve into a foul beast.
Well, what takes a special event on him is to keep talking to him after a certain
What's
point.
happened? Have you lost your nerve? No matter.
That's what I'm saying. What's the point?
We can
I'm pretty sure it doesn't do it
sit
now.
here forever.
No, not yet, but
At
I was
least
just trying
we will
to...
be safe.
Because is it progress in Boletaria or just general progress?
It's not progress of Boletaria.
Oh, it's just general progress?
Yeah, it's general progress. Or no, it is, it's just getting past the World 1-2 boss.
Oh, really? That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
Okay, so now that we have access to the Boletarian Palace, we can actually reach the, Phalanx's Archstone and just spawn there. Which is what we're gonna do right now.